Well, my talk really is all about the human connection to nature. So it's my book, The Great Tree Story, is really a sort of reflection of how that changing symbiotic relationship with the environment over the entirety of human history. So it's quite a broad topic, but if I can get one message, it is just think a bit more about how we can all interact with nature and remind ourselves that we are part of nature, not apart from it. Totally. I mean, there's ideas like Shinrin-joku, which is the Japanese concept of forest bathing. If you have a mental health issue or depression in Japan, the first thing the doctor will give you is on their NHS version is go off and spend a week walking in the woods. We all know that there's benefits to walking in nature and spending time amongst the trees, and there's so much there's a mounting sort of body of scientific evidence now that's showing that just being amongst the trees' pheromones. This isn't just some woo-woo new age stuff. It's scientifically proven. It boosts our mental health. It boosts our resilience, our immune system, being in the soil, and so on. So there's a lot of scientific data now that just shows how important nature is for us. We wouldn't exist without trees. Trees breathe out, we breathe in, and trees regulate the environment. They regulate the climate, so they're so important. So I just want people to give trees the respect they're due. I think more and more people do live in cities. The human population is still booming, but I think we can all interact more with nature just by sort of thinking a bit more about how we do that. Bringing trees into cities. Singapore's a good example of how trees have been integrated into the airport. London does actually quite well as a forest city. There's actually a big push towards improving the amount of greenery in small public places. Wildflowers, rewilding, beehives on roofs, things like that. So there's lots of things we can all get stuck in by planting trees, supporting charities that do help with these sorts of ideas, because forests are the last great wilderness areas, whether it's the Amazon, the Congo, and it's important that we protect those areas, not just for the wildlife but also for the next generation of humans that come along.